Be for real. Be for real. Be for You shouldn't have no attitude if you're living good. No, if you're smartly dressed. Hey, baby. Hey, baby. What you should be doing is getting down on your knees every night and thanking the man above for being blessed. Right now. Oh, if you want to bring the niggas down with a smile, be for real, girl. Just be for real. Be for real. I can't let you go on chasing my friends away because of the silly and stupid things you say. Hey, baby. Hey, baby. Hey, baby. You better dig yourself down, woman. Putting people down is less than you. It just don't pay. Hey, yeah. Oh, I want people to dig my style with a smile. Be for real, girl. I know, I want you to do it, just be for real. Hey, lady. Hey, baby. Hey, baby. Be for real, honey. Just be for real.
What's going on, everybody? This is Clarence Jr. breaking down the Bulldogs. And as you can see, it's another somber occasion. Once again, for the third week in a row. In case you've been under a rock, we hosted Fayetteville State for our second of only 4 home games this season. It didn't go well. That's all I can say. It didn't go well. But we're going to talk about why it didn't go well. And I have a whole lot of numbers and data and evidence that we're going to talk about tonight. But before I get into that, let me start with this. I owe you guys an apology. Some of you may say, why do you owe an apology? Well, let me explain it to you. I owe you an apology because what I realized shortly after yesterday's game was I've been giving you guys a lot of commentary from a fan's perspective and not an analysis or a commentator's perspective. Meaning, since I'm an alumni of the school, I'm a fan of the program, and I want the school to win, I didn't see things that I should have seen. And I approached things from a best case scenario standpoint. I also gave the benefit of the doubt in a lot of standpoints. I just took things as a given, like, oh, they're going to figure this out. This is going to happen. That's good. I looked at best case scenario. And so what I'm going to talk about tonight has been clear for anybody paying attention for several years now. And for that, I must apologize because I should have saw this. especially since I've been at a lot of these games in person. And the ones I didn't see in person, I watched. So I should have seen this. But it took yesterday for it to finally click like, oh, that's the issue. And so what am I talking about? What I'm speaking about is if we're going to be just real, and I'm going to give you the real numbers in a second. The fact of the matter is, for going on 3 years, the offense has been bad. I'm not talking about average. I'm not talking about decent. I'm talking about flat out bad. Now, here's the thing, though. The Elizabeth City States, the Lincolns, the Bluefields, the St. Augs, and, shout out to them for whatever they're going through. The Shaws and the St. Augs, those schools have been helping to cover up the smell of the offense. Those schools have been helping to boost up the overall offensive numbers that the offense has been putting out on a yearly basis. If you don't believe me, let's go ahead and go through it and let's look at it. Because what I'm here to say to you is that the main problem right now, currently, in times past, there have been other problems, right? But over time, those other problems have been solved. However, there's one problem that has yet to be solved. And the problem that has yet to be solved is the offense. Like the self-inflicted wounds, the penalties, the blown assignments, the inability to run the ball, stuff like that. Those things have been solved for the most part. Or at least you've seen significant improvement in those areas over the last few years. The one thing that has not gotten better is the offense overall. It's been bad for the last 2.5 going on 3 years. That's just what it is. And once again, it's been propped up by high-scoring games against bad teams. But anytime we play against an average team or better, the offense has been below average, if not flat out bad. And so that's what we're going to look at right here. So right here, we're in the 2023 season. And I'm only counting Division II games against decent or good teams. So like Davenport. Against Davenport in 2023, we scored 19 points. Matter of fact, before I even get into that, let's look at the totals. Once again, only Division II games. 19, 21, 10, 18, 16, 3, 40, 19, 46. Notice when you start to hit the 40s, Bluefield State, Lincoln. Notice again, you don't hear 40, 30 against anybody else except Bluefield and Lincoln. Even against ECSU, we didn't even get 20. That's good Lord. You get 21 against Shaw. That's 2023. Let's go ahead to 24. Let's hear the totals. And once again, I'm only giving you the totals. I'm not even, once I take away for points that were scored but not by the offense, it gets even lower. But we'll get to that. Let's go to 24. Let's just look at the total number of points in the game. 19, 14, 31, 14, 24, 17, 54, 28, 48, 45. Once again, when you start to hear 40 and all that, Lincoln, Elizabeth City, Bluefield. That's when you hear 50, 40, 40. Right? Let's just be real. Let's look at 2025. We're going to do a deeper dive on that as well in a second. But let's go to this year. This should all be fresh in everybody's mind because these games just happened. Shippings, let's look at this year. Trying to zoom in. Okay. 23. I'm going to skip that. That's not a Division II game. So we got 23. Once again, I haven't taken out for pick sixes, fumble returns, and all that kind of stuff. This gets even lower. So we got 23, 16, 21, 10. Right? Now, let's go back to 2023. And let's really do a deep dive on these numbers. Because I'm once again, y'all know I don't come on here without any data. If I'm coming on here, that means I did my research. So we're going back to 2023. Looking at the offense over the last 3 years, just Division II games. Davenport, we scored 19 points, right? But guess what? In the Davenport game, we had 7 red zone possessions. We got to the red zone 7 times in this Davenport game. And we scored 19 total offensive points with 7 red zone possessions. I'm not a math major, but I did learn my times tables. 7 times 7, if I'm not mistaken, is 49. Is that correct? Let's do it together. 7, 14, 21, 28, 35. Yep, 49 potential points with 7 red zone possessions. We scored 19 points. Shaw wasn't even good that year. We only scored 21. St. Aug's wasn't good. We only scored 10. Now, it was raining that day. Raining pretty bad that day. It was about 10 fans in the stadium, and I was one of the 10. But still, we should have scored more than 10 points in that game. But we won the game. Okay, cool. There we go. Virginia State. Homecoming. 2023. We scored 10 points on offense. The other 6 points was a kickoff return. But on offense, 10 total points. Not only that, 165 yards of total offense. Then we go to Union. I was at this debacle as well. 3 points. 138 yards of total offense. Now, right here, I have 2 of 17 in the Reds. No, that can't be right. I got to open this up because there's no way that's accurate. Let me look at this. There's no way I got that. I must have wrote that wrong. There's no way. Where's red zone? Okay, I was about to say, yeah, no. I don't know where I got that from. Look at this. 3 total points. 138 yards of total offense. That's what it was. 2 of 17 on 3rd and 4th down. Did y'all hear that? 2 of 17. How do you have 2 3rd and 4th down conversions for an entire football game? 2 in an entire football game. 2. Then we go, but the numbers are bumped up because you play Bluefield, you get 40. You play Lincoln, you get 46. Okay, that's 2023. So once again, recap. We played Davenport, we scored 19 points. We have 19 points on 7 red zone possessions. We play Virginia State. We scored 10 total points. Less than 200 total yards on the game. We play Union. We have 3 points. Only 2 third and fourth down conversions for the entire game. Only 138 yards of total offense. That's us against good or decent teams offensively in 2023. We go to 24. And we're going to slow cook this thing. 2024, we play Lenoir-Rhyne. We have 19 points. 6 of those points came from a pick six, though. So we scored 13 offensive points against Lenoir-Rhyne. Which, hey, that's a very good team. So, hey, it's okay. But 100 total passing yards with 2 picks. 6 of 18 on third and fourth down. Okay, but it's Lenoir-Rhyne. They were nationally ranked at the time. So, okay, it's cool. Not cool, but you can accept that because of who it is, right? But then we go to Davenport, a team that we should have beat the year before, but we didn't. Now they come to us. We score 14. First of all, listen, we dominated Davenport in that game when they came to Bowie. That would have been a great non-conference win for the CIAA for Bowie State. We dominated Davenport in this second matchup. We got to the red zone 4 times. 4 red zone possessions. The maximum amount you can score if you just kick extra points is 28. We have 14. We scored 1 time in the red zone. We had 55 total rushing yards. But even with that, if you go back and look at that Davenport game, the statistics, and if you go back and watch the game, we dominated time possession. We dominated total yards and offense. We dominated the game, except for we get in the red zone and cannot score. Does that sound familiar? And this is where the revelation just came to me this weekend. And when I said, you know what, I need to apologize to the Bowie State fans because I've been seeing this in person for years. Like I was at this Davenport game. I was at this game. I was at that homecoming against Virginia State. I was at that road game against Virginia Union. I've seen these games in person up close. I've seen where the offense either can't do anything at all, and it's 100% predictable from everybody, not just the other team, but you got fans, including parents in the stands, knowing exactly what's going to be called. And we can't move the ball. We can't get a first down. We can't score points. I've been seeing this in person for almost 3 years. And why did it take me so long to figure out we have a problem with the system? But let me keep going. Winston-Salem State. Let's look at this. 14 total points. 3 turnovers. We played 3 different quarterbacks in this game. 3. And not because of injury, just because why not, I guess. Then we had the Fayetteville State game. It says 24 points. 1 was a fumble return for a touchdown. We scored 17 offensive points against Fayetteville State. Mind you, if you look at this game, this was a game where we had the ball and the lead in plus territory for multiple possessions. We had multiple opportunities to increase the lead and put the game away. But we would get to plus territory, and guess what? 0 red zone possessions the entire game. 3 third and fourth down conversions. Less than 100 rushing yards for the game. And we lose a game that was right there for us to take. Then we go to Virginia State for their homecoming, a game I was also at. 17 total points. But here's the kicker. You got 17 points on 4 red zone possessions. 4 times in the red zone. The max you can get if you just kick extra points is 28. We have 17. We turn the ball over 3 times. But hey, the overall numbers get bumped up because you put 54 on Bluefield. Then we have Union. 28 points. But here's the thing about those 28 points. We still turned the ball over twice. And even though we scored 28, it was 28-0 Union before we scored any points. And we were 5 of 15 on 3rd and 4th down. But it's like, I'm not going to lie to you. This is a game. Not that you want to lose. Not that it's a good thing, but it's like, okay. Union this year went on and won the championship and won multiple. I think this was last year. They won multiple playoff games. So it's like, okay. It's kind of like the Lenore Ryan game. It's like, okay. Maybe we're not just on that level yet, but okay. Those 2 games, you can say, okay. But some of these other ones, look at this. This is where the numbers get bumped up. You play Elizabeth City State, you score 48. You play Lincoln, you score 45. So you got 3 games of 40 or more, and that bumps the overall numbers. So you're thinking, okay, we got a decent offense. No. Let's go to this year. And Shippensburg is not even a formidable opponent. But even with that, we scored 16 offensive points against Shippensburg because remember, the other one was a fumble return for touchdown. So 16 total offensive points against Shippensburg. It's like, come on, man. So then we go this year, Livingstone, 16 total points. Only got to the red zone 1 time. Only 5 3rd or 4th down conversions. This is a game where you outgained them on the ground and through the air. We'll talk about this some more. Then we have at home Winston-Salem State. This was the most aggravating game I've seen. 6 of 20 on 3rd and 4th down. But that's not even the worst part. At home, WSSU, you get to the red zone 6 times. What's going on, Maverick White? 6 red zone possessions. I'm going to say that again. 6 red zone possessions against WSSU. Please explain to me how you get to the red zone 6 times and finish the game with 21 total points. Then we have 2 days ago, Fayetteville State, 10 points. 15 rushing yards. Even though you got Maximus Jones and Michael Robinson. 15 total rush. Come on, man. 5 of 19 on 3rd and 4th down. But guess what? Even with that, against Fayetteville State, we were in the red zone 4 times. 4. 10 total points on 4 red zone trips. 10. And so let's just look at this. From 2023 up until today, just looking at the offensive output against decent to good teams. So no Bluefield, no Shaw, no St. Augs, no no Lincoln. Just Virginia State, Virginia Union, Winston-Salem State, Fayetteville State. You got Lenoir-Rhyne in there. You got Livingstone from this year. Just those handful of teams. 12 games over the last 3 years. 12 games. I'm gonna make myself bigger just so y'all can, because I want y'all to see what I'm talking about. The last 3 years against Virginia Union, Virginia State, Fayetteville State, Winston-Salem State, Lenoir-Rhyne, 2 games against Davenport, 1 game against Lincoln not Lincoln, 1 game against Livingstone that we included in this, the one from this year. That's 12 total games against decent teams, decent to good, in the last 3 years. In those 12 games, we have scored 182 total points on offense. That averages out to 15 points per game. Let me say that again. When Bowie State plays decent to good to great competition, the offense averages 15 points per game. Let that marinate. I want you to tell me, what decent Division II football team can you beat only scoring 15 points? Can you beat Johnson C. Smith scoring 15 points? Winston-Salem State, Fayetteville State, Virginia State, Virginia Union. Who can you beat when once you play against decent competition, you're scoring 15 points a game? And once again, this has been going on 3 years. And it's being hidden or propped up because you score 40 against Lincoln. You score 40 against Bluefield. You score 40 against ECSU. But when you play a halfway decent team, a halfway competent team, a team that's halfway coached right, you score on average 15 points. And you know what's crazy about that and sad about that? Is truthfully, Bowie State has had one of the best Division II defenses over the past 3 years. But when you have offenses consistently turning the ball over, consistently not scoring in the red zone, consistently not converting third downs, and going right on the field and coming right off the field, you put your defense on the field over and over and over and over again. And the defense has not been able to get the right amount of recognition because they're not being backed up by a competent offense. And once again, this is not about, and we're going to talk about that now. This is not about the players, because we've had plenty of offensive weapons over these past few years. Plenty of them. Plenty of quarterbacks that you look at initially and you say, man, he has talent. He has potential. He could possibly do this. He can possibly do that. As a matter of fact, let's talk about that next. So 2023, Amir Jenkins opens up the year going 18 of 25 for 247 yards. And then he goes 39 of 60 for 350 yards. His first two games playing for Bowie State, he's 57 of 85 for 597 yards in 2 games. Now, I'm not going to lie, he does have quite a few turnovers, but he's completing passes. He's getting yards. He's moving the ball down the field. He's putting up touchdowns with no running game. At this time, we have no running game. He's doing this with absolutely no running game. So it appears as if Bowie State has a talented quarterback that has the ability to lead us somewhere. That's how Amir Jenkins starts off his career. Right? So here's the problem. By the time we get to the Virginia Union game, first of all, if you're watching the games, his confidence is completely gone. On top of that, he's injured. He's hurt. On top of that, the offense is inept and extremely predictable, where parents in the stands are saying this is what's going to get called next. On top of that, still can't run the ball. So somebody who starts off the beginning of the 2023 season with 600 passing yards in the first 2 games, by the time you get to the end of the season and the last game, they're not even playing anymore, right? We finished the season with Justin Morse. He lights up Bluefield. Excuse me. He lights up Bluefield, and he ends the season as the HBCU Offensive Player of the Week, lighting up Lincoln. 19 of 29, 277 yards. So you're thinking, okay, Jordan Morris is the next guy going into 2024. Jordan Morris is going to take over the program. He's going to be that effective quarterback, and we're going to go to the next level, right? Starts off the season, the 2024 season, at Lenoir-Rhyne. He goes 2 of 10, and he's pulled from the game. You see him again a little bit later against Winston-Salem State in the game that we'll talk about shortly, where we play 3 different quarterbacks. But by this point in time, mind you, he ends 2023 on a high. Comes into 2024 looking to do big things. Has a rough game against Lenoir-Rhyne. He gets pulled from that game. Kevin Taylor starts the second game against Davenport. Then, because of some off-the-field stuff, Kevin Taylor does not start the WSSU game. Jordan Morris is back in there. But I saw that game in person. and I watched it back over the summer. Jordan Morris was very uncertain of himself and gun shy against WSSU, and he would not pull the trigger on throws. So late in the second quarter, they pull him and go back to Taylor, which, once again, if Taylor is suspended, what kind of suspension is a quarter and a half? But okay. But mind you, that's the second quarterback that has come out the gate looking good, showing confidence. They get a very short leash, or whatever the case may be. They get pulled. They lose all confidence. They drop off the map. And then we go to the next guy. Right? So now Kevin Taylor gets to start against Davenport. He's the starter, but we get to WSSU, and he's not the starter. He struggles in that game. Somewhat bounces back against Fayetteville State, going 19 of 33 for 2 touchdowns. Okay. So now you're thinking, okay, well, Kevin Taylor's the guy now. He's going to be the one. He's tall. He's accurate. He has good anticipation. Okay. But what happens? We come into the 2025 season, and Kevin Taylor is not starting week 1. Malachi Anthony is starting week 1. Begin to week 2. Anthony starts week 2. They take him out. They put Taylor in. Then you go to week 3. They start Taylor at Livingstone. Taylor plays the whole game. The offense struggles, not because of Taylor, but because the offensive line had a rough day that day. But then they go to game 4 against Winston-Salem at home, and they go back to Anthony again. That doesn't go well. So then they play Fayetteville State. They go back to Taylor. Do you hear how disorganized and uncombobulated this is? You start a season with one guy looks good. For whatever reason, you can't figure out a way to put him in a successful situation. Then you go to the next guy. The next guy looks good for a couple of games. You can't figure out a way to make him look successful long term. Then you go to the next guy. He looks okay for a little bit. Can't figure out a way to make him successful. Take him out. Go to the next guy. Then go back to this one. Then go back to that one. Then throw this one. Come on, man. Like, we got to be real. Amir Jenkins, from what I understand, stopped playing football even though he had eligibility left. Jordan Morris left the program, and I have not been able to find him playing football anywhere this season, even though he had eligibility left. I remember coming across family. I'm not even going to, never mind. You know what's funny? I went into this year, and I've been talking this season, under the impression that Kevin Taylor has been underachieving and not living up to his potential. And you know what? That could be true, and it probably is true to an extent. But you know what's also probably true? Kevin Taylor is being held back and not being properly developed. If we're going to be real, if you have been following and watching games, particularly in person, that's important. What you know, what you have definitely heard, in your own ear, in person, verbatim, is the offense oftentimes is extremely predictable and ineffective. Everybody in the stadium knows exactly what's going to happen, what's being called. Everybody. And so, what I want to say is this: you can have whatever philosophy you think makes sense, whatever you think works. But at a certain point in time, what you have to do is look at the personnel that you have. Look at their strengths, look at their weaknesses, look at what they're good at, and figure out how to highlight what they're good at. Figure out how to do a couple of things extremely well. Because if you look at Virginia Union's offense, they have a 5'6" chubby quarterback that scares nobody. But when you look at Virginia Union, what you know they're going to do is run the football. And even though you know that's what they're going to do, you cannot stop it. They figured out what their strengths are and they lean into it and they perfect it. And before they try and do anything else, you got to stop this first. I saw one game this year, Virginia Union, they had 7 completions on the game and won the game convincingly because they ran the football a lot. And you couldn't stop it. Look at Fayetteville State, who we just played. They don't have this dynamic passing game, not at all. So what did they do? They lean into the run. Everybody running. Running backs running, fullback running, quarterback running. Hand it off to a wide receiver. Let him run. They run. They figure out what they can do well, and they figure out how to do that at a very high level. Simple. Virginia Union might make it all the way to the third round of the playoffs. Running the football. Because they do that at an extremely high level. Who's going to stop it? Virginia Union will run the ball on 3rd and 10. 3rd and 10, they'll hand the ball off and convert it. Who's going to stop it? Once again, in the past 3 years, 12 games against decent to good competition, averaging 15 points a game on offense. 15. Played what? Let's count the quarterbacks. 1, 2, 4 different quarterbacks. Almost every single one of them has looked very good for a couple of games. Then film is out there. Let's just keep it real. Film is out there. All of a sudden, they don't look so good no more. All of a sudden, everybody knows what we're going to do, how we're going to do it, when we're going to do it. The offense is a problem. And the only reason people haven't noticed It's because you get a 40-point game against Bluefield. You get a 40-point game against Lincoln. You put up 40 on ECSU. And all of a sudden, the overall averages go up. And you're able to win 5 games, 6 games. And nobody goes, hey, man, when you play Virginia Union, Virginia State, Fayetteville State, Winston-Salem State, when you play anybody good, you either can't move the ball at all, you can't take care of the ball at all, or you can't score in the red zone. And it's been like that for 3 years. That's the problem. You play good teams, you either can't take care of the ball, you can't move the ball, or you can't score the ball, or a combination of the 3. You get a quarterback, he looks good for a couple of games, then they get tape. Now he starts struggling. Now he loses confidence. Then you take him out, put somebody else in. They look good for a couple of games. Then they start struggling. Then they start lose confidence. Then you put in somebody else. Then you circle back to the other one. Then you got quarterbacks who stop playing football altogether after being a part of this offense. Listen, man, we got to be real. We have to be real. You look at Union. What's their identity? Run the football. Fayetteville State, run the football. Winston-Salem State, air it out. Throw it deep. Virginia State, somewhat of a balance, but mostly, this year is a little different with R.J. Matthews, but for the most part, they like to run the ball a lot. JCSU, lots of running, then the run opens up the pass. You see how the good teams, you know what their identity is on offense. You look at Bowie State, there is no identity on offense. You don't know what we're doing. Well, actually, everybody knows what we're doing. That's the problem. But we don't have an identity. And I understand that we have a lot of weapons and you want to get the weapons the ball. That makes sense. But you got to figure out a way to get them the ball effectively in a way that makes sense, in a way that we can score the football routinely and regularly. I don't know what has to happen for people to realize we have some issues with consistency on the offensive line, and so we need to switch things up. Stop going in the empty shotgun. You can't stop it. At what point do you go twin tight ends? At what point do you go split backfield? At what point do you figure out, okay, we can't go empty, bunch formation to one side and one receiver on the other side, or what? We can't do that. We got to figure out how to help the O-line out and protect better. We got to switch up some of the routes. We got to figure out some of the blocking schemes and get the running backs out in space. We got to run the ball more. We got to keep guys in more to chip. At what point do you say, I know I have my philosophy on offense, but it's not working. Let me do something different. At what point do you say, whatever I think about my offensive scheme, it doesn't work against good teams. I need to do something different. At what point? How many times do you have to lose to WSSU, Fayetteville State, Virginia State, Virginia Union, How many times do you have to lose before you say, you know what? My way ain't working. It ain't working. Once again, either you can't take care of the football, you can't move the football, or you can't score the football, or a combination of the three when it comes down to playing good competition. 15 points a game. Unable to develop a quarterback and have the quarterback look effective for a season. They look good a couple games, then you go to the next one. Then you go to the next one. Then you circle back to this one. Then you go back to that one. Then one game you just say, hey, play all of them. At what point do you say, you know what? Something is wrong with my offensive system. And so once again, that's the apology that I owe to the fans. Because this was right in front of my face for years now. And it took this weekend for me to see it. Like, hold on now. Because I was like, okay, we're going to go back to Taylor. Taylor's going to be ready. We're going to look good. But after this game, after this weekend, after this Saturday, where we went back to Taylor and it still didn't work, that's when the light bulb went off. This is not a new problem. This has been a problem for going on 3 years. No matter who the quarterback is, no matter who the running backs are, no matter who the receivers are. This has been a consistent problem. This is a systemic issue at this point. That's what it is. The numbers are what they are. 15 points a game versus any football team that's competent. 15. 4 different quarterbacks who come out the gate looking good. 2 of them, by the time the season was finished, they stopped playing football altogether. Like, this is not me making this up. At some point, like, at some point you gotta realize your way ain't working. It's time to hey, I don't know. Listen, that's above my pay grade. What you need to do. I don't know what you need to do. All I can tell you is what you've been doing, that ain't it. That's all I got for you. That's all I got for you. What I got for you is what you've been doing is 15 points a game. That's all I can tell you. That ain't good enough. What you should do, I don't know. I don't get paid to know. Y'all get paid to know. I don't know. I have no idea. I can suggest. Listen, I'm not even gonna make no sense. I don't know. All I know is what you're doing, it don't work. So we're gonna go out here and listen. Lincoln is terrible defensively. We're gonna score against Lincoln. We're going to score against Bluefield. ECSU has looked better. That's going to be, and it's sad that I'm even saying this, but ECSU is homecoming, but that could be interesting depending on what we do offensively there. But you would think that at least we could win 4 games. It would be nice if we could win 5 and beat Virginia State at home. But once again, I'm not going to lie to you, man. Over the last couple of weeks, it's gotten to the point now where I'm like, look, if we're going to score, it's got to be off of a big play, off of a busted play, or we're going to score on defense because zero confidence in the offensive system, not the players. We got a whole lot of talented playmakers. A whole lot of them. Challenger Valentine, Maximus Jones. Now I'm forgetting names. That's what I do. I should start there. Now I start forgetting names. Maximus Jones. And what's the other one? Number 1, I think Banks. Is it Banks? I knew I should have started naming names. As soon as I start naming names, I start forgetting names. But we got 2 running backs, multiple receivers. I'm gonna go with numbers. We got on offense, we got number 1, we got number 4, we got Micah Robinson, Maximus Jones, we got Challenger Valentine. Like, come on, man. We got what? We got Kevin Taylor. Once again, the system is a problem. And it's not me saying that. 15 points a game is saying that. And so, Bulldog Nation, once again, I apologize to y'all because I was looking at this thing from a fan's perspective. And so I was going into it thinking, of course, the running game is going to get better. Of course, the passing game is going to be effective. Of course, the play calling is going to be right. We're going to move the ball consistently. We're going to score in the red zone. I just took it as a given. But as many games as I have seen in person, there's no logical reason I should have took it as a given. No, there's no reason why I should have done that. I was being a fan. That will be one of the last times that'll happen. From now on, this is going to be I'm going off of what I actually saw. And what I'm seeing is a bad offense. A bad offense that is consistently letting down very good defenses. And the sad part is, oftentimes, it's one thing if you bad, but it's like, I can see you trying different stuff. It just ain't working, but you try something different. It's something completely different when you just keep doing the same thing over and over again. And then let me change the quarterback. I'm gonna put a different quarterback in the same system, and all of a sudden it's gonna work. Listen, man. It's not the quarterback, man. And another thing one last piece, because I noticed this. Couldn't run the ball 2 years ago at all. Bring in a new O-line coach, start running the ball a lot better. After a year, O-line coach leaves, goes back to Union. Now, could have went to Union for 3 reasons. One reason is you see the trajectory that Alvin Parker is. It's very likely that if he wants to, he can get a Division I job. And so you want to be attached to that so that way you can move up to Division I. That's one thing. Or it's pretty clear he's probably going to leave. And so maybe you can be in position to get the job or move up on the staff after he leaves. That's two. But then there's a third reason, right? Why would someone join the staff as an O-line coach, immediately see significant improvement in O-line play as evident by the running game, and then leave right after that season? If it's not for the two reasons I just mentioned. Like, hey man, that's neither here nor there, I guess. Once again, the problem is the offense has been highly ineffective for several years now. It's been highly predictable. Nobody's afraid of it. Everybody knows what's coming. And it's very easy to stop, no matter who you put in at quarterback. Either you can't move the ball, you can't protect the ball, or you can't score the ball, or a combination of the three. That's the problem.